Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This year should be Lili Nishmas, HaKadosh, Rabbi Yoel ben Rav Yonah, and L'Refuas, Rav David Henach Mordechai ben Frida Simcha, and Mordechai David ben Leah, and Sarah Leah bas Rivka, B'soch Shar Cholei Yisrael. We're continuing our shiurim in the Mamori Pachad Yitzchak on Sukkot. We're on Maimer Hey. Chazal teach us very famously, Seches Sukkot, Daf Nun Aleph, that Kol Mi Shelo Ra Simchas Beis HaShoeva Simchas Beis HaShoeva Lo Ra Simcha Miyamav. Anybody who didn't see the Simchas Beis HaShoeva never saw true Simcha. So this is talking not only about the emotions that they had, but also the nature of the Simchas Beis HaShoeva expressed this incredible Simcha, and that's what we're going to try to explain. The Avodas Nisuch HaMayim on Chag HaSukkos is obviously what the Simchas Beis HaShoeva is all about, the drawing of the water to pour it on the Mizbeach. So this Avodah of Nisuch HaMayim is a Hemshech Yasher. It's a direct continuation from the Avodah Siyom of Shofar and Rosh Hashanah, and the Avodah Siyom of Yom Kippur of going Lefnai Lefnim, because the Chachamim tell us that the Shofar, since it says Zikaron by the Shofar, it's Lefnai Lefnim. It's Lefnai Lefnim. It's like it's in the Kodesh Kadashim, Rosh Hashanah Chavav, and that is because both of the Shofar and the Hazayos of Lefnai Lefnim are poel, are working in the Makom Habris, and that's why in the Zechonos and Rosh Hashanah we say Zocher Habris, and in Yom Kippur he's Mazeh Lefnai Lefnim, the Makom Aron Habris, and Be'etzem, this bris cannot be lost due to an Aveira, because it's the bris of Matan Luchos Shnios that we're talking about here, where it says Hinei Anochi Kareis bris, and they have no shvira like the Gemara says in Bava Kamen and Dalet, because it says Tov, and that means they can't break. And Memela, an Aveira can't affect it, because this is the place of the bris. So that's the Avodah of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and the Makom HaBris, Makom the Aron HaBris, Hinei Anochi Kareis bris, and that's the Kilefnai Lefnim, the Tkiyas Shofar, which is, since it's Zikaron, it's Kilefnai Lefnim. It's like it's in the Kodesh Kadashim in that Makom of bris. That's why we say the Brach of Zocher HaBris. So you would think that just like an Aveira can't destroy this bris, so to a mitzvah can't enhance it. That's the Chiddush, though, of Avodah of Tishrei, of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that this Avodah of these Zmanim works even though Avodah shouldn't be Shaykh. Ba'etzem Avodah shouldn't be Shaykh. We already have the bris. There's nothing to talk about. Nevertheless, in this place of bris where Avodah shouldn't be Shaykh, we still have an Avodah. So that's all Benogel Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But that's the pnimius of the Avodah of Shofar and the Hazayos of the Aron HaBris, that in the B'tzad HaGalui. So we understand that the Shofar it's Mitzvahs Hayom, and the Hazayos, Psukim, Mitzvahs Hayom, but the pnimius of these mitzvahs are part of the bris. But these are avodas. But because at least we're in the Beis Hamikdash, at least we're in the Kodesh Kadashim. But on Sukkos, not only the pnimius of the avoda, but the guf avoda has this tzura. Why? Because what's the Nisuch HaMayim? You take water and you throw it back into the depths, to a hole, and then it goes deep into the ground. Put it back into the ground, to hold Mizbech into the ground. So there's no heker of avoda. The Tehom is not a makom avoda like Abei Achzaras HaMayim. It says in the Medrash Tanchum and Pinchas, Klum mashkim es hagefen yayin. Do you give the vine wine? Do you give the deep down in the ground, you give it water? That's where the water is coming from. So this is b'chlal not a makom of avoda. But that's the chiddush, the avodas hamiyuchadas l'chodesh Tishrei, that these are avodas b'makom shein shayach avoda. It's the pnimius of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and that's the guf avoda of Sukkos. Putting water back in the depths, it's b'chlal not a makom of avoda. So avoda b'makom shlo shayach avoda b'makom Ukederech hahevdel hazeh shematzinu ba'avoda b'mayim, we also have this hevdel in the simchas ha'avoda. There's a simcha lefi erech ha'avoda, and that's simcha shel mitzvah. That's the person who's mekayim a mitzvah places himself in direct relationship to the nachas ruach, that the mitzvah is gorim lamala. The more nachas ruach, the happier he is. And that's nisuch hayayin. We see there's wine that's happy, there's a chiddush. And then there's the simcha of the kedusha, that a person is menasech the gimel lugin simcha shelo into tehomos hasimcha hanimtzaim be'olamos. And these tehomos, what do you say on the? You say the 15 shira malices, like the Gemara says in Sukkah. Keneged the 15 shira malices, shira malos. So that's what happens when we pour these gimel lugin of water into the tehomos. And that's bechlal, not lefi erech havoda. That's beyond imagination. Because normally, it's lefi erech, it's according to commensurate to the amount of nachas ruach you caused above. That's the simcha shel mitzvah. But here, it's like you go to the depths of simcha. And maybe they come back up to you, the 15 malos, 15 shira malosim. And that's all these shiras, the 15. And that is a tremendous simcha shelo lefi erech. And that's the Rambam writes that the simcha yisera of Chag HaSukkos was miskayim in the simcha space of Shoeva. Because the simcha yisera of Chag HaSukkos is that Chag HaSukkos is man simchaseinu. Other moados are moadim l'simcha. What's the difference? Moadim l'simcha, simcha shel mitzvah. Lefi ha'moed kach yeh simcha. Tziyas Mitzrayim, you're happy you left. Matan Torah, you're happy you got the Torah. But here it's zman simchaseinu. It's not lefi erech ha'avoda. Here it's beyond imagination, the simcha. And therefore, the simcha yisera is the simchas havoda shel nisach hamayim, because this nisach hamayim is also shelo be'erech shel avoda. Goes all the way into the depths. It's not even in a place of avoda. The depths that the water goes back down into. So Mamela, the simcha is much beyond the actual avoda that we're doing. You have this tremendous simcha of the simchas beis hashoeva that's b'chal not b'makom avoda, and it's not lefi erech avoda, and then there's the 15 milas, which is connected to 15 shira maluses, this very high level of shira. Everyone has its own shir miyuchad. So this is not a regular type of simcha. It's a beyond imagination simcha. It's shelo lefi erech avoda, shelo b'makom ha'avoda, and that's why mishelo ra simchas beis hashoeva lo ra simcha miyamav. It says in the pasuk in Micha, Perek Zayin pasuk Chaf, Titin Emes li Yaakov. So we learned in a previous shir that Avram Holidus Yitzchak means that both the Ava of Avram and the Yira of Yitzchak were talui on this inyan of dimui tzura liyotzra, of being similar, of the form of the creation being similar to the one who created him. In other words, that's why Avram's Ava was to be like Hashem, and Yitzchak's Yira was also to follow in this midah of Hashem. And the explanation is that the kviyas hamidah of Avram was be'ava u'b'chesed, but through this midah, he was megala the dimui tzura liyotzra, and same thing with the midas hayir of Yitzchak. Shalidei avodaso b'midas pachad Yitzchak, he would be megala the dimui of tzura liyotzra in avodah of Yira. But Yaakov didn't have a midah kvu at all. The dimui tzura liyotzra, that was his midah. Ava and Yira were ways for him to be medam tzura liyotzra. Avram was Ava, through which he was medam himself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitzchak's midah was Yira, through which he was medam himself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yaakov's midah was to be medam himself to Kadosh Baruch Hu. And whatever midah he had, it was to be in that category of becoming Dom El Hashem. But it started with Dimitzur Liot, so he didn't have a midah kfua. That's Titein Emes Li Yaakov. What's the Emes? The Emes, as the footnote is married beautifully in his Ma'amarim, in a Maimer on Yom Kippur, Emes is Miyasodei HaNefesh, which he says means that Emes is to be similar to your source, similar to God, and that was the midah of Yaakov Avinu. And the way it was down here was the way it was up there. That's Emes. And all the midos are only pratim and anofim of this Emes of Yaakov, of being medam etzur liyotzra. The Gra writes in Shir Ashir, when we continue in Maimer Zayin, that Chag HaSukkos is a zechel osam ananei kavod shechazu la'achar ma'aseh egel. What does this mean? That the reason that they're not zechel ananei hakavod, that were originally b'shas ha'yitzir Mitzrayim, is because mitzvah sukkah is misiacheses to kritzis habritz of the luchos shniyos, because the preference of luchos shniyos over the luchos rishonos is that about the luchos shniyos it says tov, and they could not have been broken, and therefore the luchos shniyos are forever b'chol hamatzavim. And that's the mitzvah of sukkah. In other words, those are the Anani HaKavod that came back. As the Gra made the cheshbon. When did they come back? They came back on Tesvav Tishrei. And these we're not going to lose. The klal is that anything that's misnaig with a certain midah cannot stand b'chol hamatzavim, because sometimes there's going to be a matzav that's going to contradict this midah, and then there's a breaking point, because there's a stira between this midah and the matzav, because sometimes there's the midah won't stand up in certain matzavim. It's only when an inyan is misnaig l'mala mikol midah, then the midah will stand all circumstances. That's hakol yochol v'kol am yachad, like we say in the Yom Noraim. All powerful and all encompassing. Only then is it muftach be'omed that it's going to withstand any shvira. So it emerges then that the krisis bris of the luchos shniyos were promised it's not going to have a shvira. It's because of this midah of kol yochel, hakol yochel v'kol am yachad, that it's not limited to any specific midah. It's able to accommodate itself to any situation and change the midah, because it has to last. That's the krisis bris of the luchos shniyos. Not set in one midah. And we find that the mitzvah of sukkah is shach to Yaakov Avinu. Only by him we see the union of sukkah. The Yaakov nasa sukkosa. That's based on what we said earlier, that the ikar inyan of Emes Li Yaakov is that he has no specific midah. All the midas are echitimtzi, are means to be megala, the parts of the tzelem Elokim, and that's sukkah. Same with diras kev, v'shei b'diras aroi. We leave our permanent dwelling and we go into our temporary dwelling. And through that, by leaving that specific midah of diras keva and going to this world of aroi, we're megale the bechin of Shomri Amo Yisrael La'ad, of being guarded forever, because as long as a person is connected, Be'ez Kviyus Shel Midah Misuyemes, he has no agon of Shmira. Because when is there complete Shmira? When there's no specific midah. If the person is stuck in a specific midah, if the matzav contradicts that midah, then he's finished. But if a person has no specific midah, then he can accommodate himself to any matzav. He'll adopt the midah necessary for that matzav. And therefore, when you leave your Dira Sarai and you leave a Dira Kevin, you go into Dira Sarai, that's your way of saying, all right, I don't have my specific midah. I can just, accommodate myself to whatever's necessary. And that's the Siman Labanam of Mitzvah Sukkah in the Maisa Abbas of Yaakov. If we're going to last forever, Shomer Amo Yisrael, Yaakov Yisrael, we're going to last forever because of this Yaakov of Sukkos, of going out of the Diras Keva, going into a Diras Sarai, and not having a set midah. Rather, our midah is being Medam Etzura Liyotzra. And the Fizeh, we understand beautifully why the Ananei HaKavod of Sukkos relate to the Krisis Bris of Luchas Shniyos. Because those don't break. Again, I also said it works with the date, that we got it back on Tesvav Tishrei. But that's after we got the Luchas Shniyos, Yom Kippur. And that's because it's eternal. It's not going to be broken. That's the special bris we have. And that's the Luchas Shniyos. The Ananei HaKavod after the Luchas Shniyos. Because that's able to adapt to any situation. That's what makes us eternal. As opposed to Luchas Rishonos, that had a breaking point. When you're stuck in a midah, you have a breaking point. It's a good lesson for life, that if a person wants to, this road, he wants to get through difficult matzavim, he has to have different types of modus operandis, methods of operations. For this situation this, for that situation that, in order that a person should never be broken. But if he's set into a certain midah, sometimes life situations don't go well with that midah. He's in big trouble. Okay, so we learned some nice inyanim in Sukkah. And we have obviously tons more to do. And we give ourselves a bracha. Should be zocha lilmod ulelamed, lishmor velasos ulekayim is called divrei salma teras v'yahava, amen v'amen. Shalom, shalom, sweetest, most beloved friends.